Hi everyone, I'm going to do something outside of my comfort zone. Dan the Wolfman here, all things martial arts. Look at my playlist when I was younger: MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, Combative and Street Jiu-Jitsu, Catch Wrestling, Systema. Look at all of it. And I mostly do pistol reviews or revolver reviews, that kind of thing now. This is my second ever knife video, so please bear with me. I am not an expert when it comes to this stuff, but occasionally I get an inkling where I want to buy stuff that I think I will like or looks cool. Let's start with the baby. One thing I've learned is when buying like knives off Amazon, cheap knives, that kind of thing, you're kind of buying the sheath, the sheath design. Is it something you could actually carry if that's what you're looking for or not? I happen to live in a state where I could carry a katana if I wanted, probably, as long as it didn't look like I had any intent of going armed or doing anything bad. I could carry daggers, double-edged, doesn't matter, length doesn't matter, etc. Let's start at the little baby TDI. This is one of those knives, little itty-bitty straight blade. This is designed for firearms retention, and was a club in a strip club with all the crack dealers. I worked at bouncing security in Georgia. This is what I carried as a quick little cross draw. Okay, so having a decent, it's opening up too much because I wear thick like CCW belts, but for a while it worked pretty good. This metal clip, good click in, you're kind of buying the sheath, and this is a whoa, don't grab my gun, or stab, stab, get away from me if they're pulling a gun on you, that kind of thing. So the TDI used around the world, pretty good, pretty worth the buy. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll buy something else tiny. I don't know why, but it's kind of neat. This M-Tech, it's probably just pretty cheap thing with this cheap little thing, and I thought, well, I can throw that in a range bag or something in a car. Suddenly you need a little itty-bitty blade. You got a little bitty itty blade. Hey, if you're in a state that's like under 3 inches, you carry 2 little blades. Please don't stab anyone. That's deadly force. You have to be legally justified to use deadly force, meaning huge disparity of force or numbers, and hope you get lucky. More likely that they are immediately a deadly force threat to you. Get this cheap little Smith & Wesson HRT boot dagger. You know what? It's not so bad. Now, I'm not an expert. None of these are like heavy foresting things. Go check out one of my subscribers that I said hi to that has like 86 million views for bushcraft survival or something, where he built a hut and he's all ripped. But a crappy sheath, right? I mean, it kind of, it's Smith & Wesson branded. So if you're like a J frame carrier or something, maybe that's cool to you. Snap, I mean, you could throw it in a boot, maybe. Strong. So, I mean, that could kind of work. So there's the Smith & Wesson kind of dagger. This one is a better quality blade, I believe. The Kuhi. I just like the design. I like the way it fits in my hand. I like the thumb pressure I can put back there as a defensive blade, and yet it's really thick. So for, maybe whittling wood branches to get it's not like really a full survival knife, but if I needed to use it as a combat knife and manage to, I don't know, open up a fish or, whittle some sticks off to get a fire started, that kind of thing, it's not bad. It feels very good in the hand. I like the grip there. I like the tang to protect your finger there. So if you were knife dueling and here, so I can do all my cool FMA, Kali type stuff. Don't believe me? Look at me doing Kali Sinawali dual sticks. I have a couple cool videos. Look at my knife defense videos. If you're watching this video, guys, look at Dan the Wolfman knife defense. Search Dan the Wolfman best knife defense. That kind of thing. That has, I forget what these are called, but very cool clip. Even a lot of gun holsters are starting to come out with this as the clip. So you can move it around, whatever, and change the width for the belt. And this is like a very legit sheath. So you're really paying money to look at the reviews, look at the best pictures they have, and see if it's worth buying, not just for the cool looking knife design like this. I mean, I just think that looks wicked. Something like you'd see in one of my friend's Nightwood Guns, the 2 books he wrote, something like that. So that bad boy's pretty cool. Now this one was on super duper sale on Amazon for Xmas. And I don't know, it's probably a cheap blade material, but it's full tang with a decent grip. And I just picked it up and I really like it. Again, you got pretty good little, finger protection there. One piece, that's good. It feels really good. Feels like you could do some good work with this outdoors and or fighting if needed. Different kind, but pretty good for like a cheap knife. Getting a halfway decent sheath that you could tie down to your belt or use this clip as a paddle holster, which I really don't like, but you could put a belt through the paddle holster too, which is probably a pretty decent way of carrying this knife. Now, a lot of people live in states where illegal because it's double-sided. Maybe, maybe not, depending on length and if they're really going to measure to there, or the cop going to screw you and measure all the way down there, and then you're going to have to get a good lawyer to fight it in court that it's advertised and get the tape measure out to there. Probably legal for a lot of you. Probably too long for a lot of you, at least concealed. So know your state's gun laws, not what Bubba Fudd tells you, not what your uncle tells you. Look up the TCA or the state laws online on their website. Okay, SOG knife. I've used this a lot in the modern meat target testing. I do ballistics testing, and just for cutting duct tape and bologna and the stuff I've used in the modern meat target. You're going to want to check out those videos to learn about anatomy, physiology, and how handgun and terminal ballistics actually work. It's been really helpful. Rubber grip that's pretty grippy. Kind of just a good outdoorsy knife that's not too big, I would say. I picked these up on sale a couple years ago, and it's a SOG knife. So this and this are probably the highest quality. 4 of these probably have decent quality. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Unfortunately, the SOG knife just comes with that. I mean, if you're just outdoor hiking, your dog's doing some duck hunting or whatever, that's probably fine. But boy, I'm happier to get a similar style knife with something that might actually be useful if I actually need to carry one of these. Okay, next up is the Kobun. Watashi wa samurai desu. Watashi wa Ronin, or something along that effect. So I've actually been to some meetings. I was a professional fighter in Japan and fight commentator, and I got invited to a celebration by one of the promoters, the Japanese promoter for Muhammad Ali versus Antonio Inoki. So, there might be people missing pinkies and carrying stuff like this that could be useful. And actually, if I were to carry a knife, if I was only carrying one pistol, if I was going to carry a straight blade instead of carrying a backup gun, it would probably be this. It will slip between the ribs. Really nice if you turn it sideways, tanto point, and all of that. So, pretty nice sheath, but you'd have to tie it down. So there it is. Bear with me, guys. I don't do knife reviews. I just thought it would be cool to do something different. Okay, here is, and you can't find them anymore, the P99 Walther knife. And if you want to see P99, you better subscribe and look for my top 5 James Bond tuxedo guns that I haven't filmed yet, besides the PPK. So looking at bigger 380s and cool stuff. And maybe we'll see this bad boy again. In fact, I haven't even gotten it out really before this. I haven't seen how sharp it is or anything. I got a saw blade on the back. I got a little bit up there. I got the P99 style dot grip texture. And this will probably be a collectible. This is probably a little good investment on my part. Came with this kind of cool sheath here that you can wear to your back shoulder, I think, like commando, but upside down style on your chest, kind of like this. But really, it's just kind of cool. And then last but not least, I've always wanted one. I decided to pick up this cheap knockoff of a Sykes Fairbairn OSS World War II style sneaky, peeky, sneaking up behind someone, hand over the mouth. And this, well, they often fight, kick, and make a lot of noise. So it's not as silent as movies would make it out to see in the real world. But it would probably do the job. You know, it's a little small in the hilt for my hand, but across pommel, cross guard, I can put some pressure with my thumb. So, I mean, I could probably do some work with that. And of course, you know, double-sided, double-edged, or defined as a dagger. Again, most of you couldn't carry this. I actually have a couple times, just cause. And there you go. So, guys, if you're into martial arts, you want to learn, get my competitive and street jiu-jitsu instructional on BJJ Fanatics. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Look at my playlist. I've covered everything with martial arts. And if you want to learn about pistol craft, revolvers, realistic CCW training, and all that, you're going to want to check out my Paul Harrell tribute place. It's a good place to start. Thanks, everyone. Kaboom.